again so that I can put things back together later without losing them. Right, where did we get to? So yeah, so you increase your player value depending on how you got the skill and what the skill was. Hiring, firing, temporarily retiring. That's a nice rhyming section, isn't it? Um, so you can hire and fire staff, purchase rerolls using double, hire journeyman. Yeah, fine. All right, so that's temporarily retiring. Okay, so this is an effect on the league play. Now, so actually, I think I'll need to put this into my spreadsheet. Right, so temporary retiring. So for league play, I think I'm going to need to put temporary retiring in because it means they stop until the end of the they can't play until the end of the season. So it's like a voluntary miss next game, but you have to retire them for the um, rest of the season, basically. Um, so what happens is they miss all the next games. So during the post-game sequence, that player may be given time off to suffers a lasting injury. That player may be given time off to recover. See page 100. See page 100. Redrafting. Right, so you roll a d6 and see if their niggle removes. So basically, if you've got 2 games left and you don't want to, if you've got 2 games left and you don't want to, um, and you're not going to make the playoffs, then you just temporarily retire your player. You have to do it straight away as soon as they get an injury, I think. Yes, during the post-game sequence of a game in which a player suffered a lasting injury, then you can do that. So that's quite cool. So something I'll stick in my spreadsheet about temporary retiring players. Yeah, 80k for strength is way too harsh. Yeah, basically you won't see it anymore, which is a bit crazy. The combination of random selection. So to get a strength skill, first of all you have to cash in 18 star player points, and then you have to roll a 15 on a d16, which is obviously or a 15 or a 16. Sorry, so that's a 1 in 8 chance. So it's a 1 in 8 chance of getting a strength boost after you've cashed in all your star player points to get it, and then you get massively punished in team value. So that's a bit daft. Expensive mistakes was in the old one. I don't know if it's changed, but it's instead of the old spiraling expenses. So Sorbal people, we're going to be shifting over to expensive mistakes because it's in the rules. Team value, calculated team value as previously discussed. Skills. So there's now 8 skills in each of the boxes: agility, general, mutations, passing, and strength. Alphabetical order. I'd rather it went general agility personally, and then mutations at the end, because just that was what was in the old rule book, and it made me happy. Whereas now they're in alphabetical order. It's a bit like having alphabetical order on the skills. Like in the olden days, loner always came first on the star players to make it clear. But now they're all strict alphabetical order, which seems a bit daft. But there we go. Maybe it was daft in the old ways. Sometimes the old ways are not the best. Yeah, I'm not going to, I don't know. I can't decide whether to go through all the skills in depth. Yeah, why not? People can skip ahead, can't they? So catch is the same. Diving catch is the same. So it counts. So it clearly says scattering or deviating. So not bouncing. So that's nice and clear as before. Diving tackle. Oh, affects leap. So diving tackle affects jumping as well. So that's quite cool. I like that. Um, it doesn't say. So I guess you're not attempting to dodge. If you fail the rush, then you wouldn't attempt to dodge, so you can't use diving tackle. So that makes that clear, I think. Dodging is fine. Defensive. Bron, we got to defensive. So this is an agility skill, and it cancels out guard. Any opposition players in this player's tackle zone being marked by this player cannot use the guard skill. So that's going to get nice and complicated when trying to work things out. Might make teams last longer. I don't know. Not teams, turns. Jump up. Clap hands is the same. So leap is got this wrong online. Sorry. So this is the war dancer being able to leap now they can leap into a standard cage on a 4+ instead of a 3+. So leap means that you can jump over empty squares and also occupied squares with standing players in, and then you reduce the negative modifier by reduce it by -1. No, reduce by 1 actually to a minimum of -1. Yeah, okay, yeah, give them that. Actually, that's right, isn't it? So reduce a negative modifier. So there's no, it should be a maximum -1 technically from a mathsy point of view. So there's always going to be a -1 modifier. So the maximum, so it's always going to be a 3+ leap at best. But if there's more than that, more tackle zones than that, then it'll be harder. I like the idea of diving tackle affecting the jump though. That's pretty cool. So that's could be an effect on a way of defending against people leaping into your cage as well. So if you have a few diving tackle players, it means that, yeah, interesting. Safe pair of hands is a new skill. So you place the ball when you get knocked down, but not when you fall over. Sidestep is the same. Sneaky git. So sneaky git means you're not sent off on the armor roll, and also you can carry on moving after you fouled, which also applies to chainsaws. So that's cool. Yeah, Devil's Brushy, absolutely. They are going to Blood Bowl 3. Yeah. Cool. Yeah, it'll be on YouTube later and on Twitch as well. So sprint is the same, but rush instead of GFI. Sure feet is the same. So that's all the agility skills. So they've got rid of some. I'm not going to talk about the ones they've got rid of particularly. Just going to focus on what is in the rule book now. So there's your 8 agility skills. And the reason they've got 8, it's not 8, it's 12. I can count, honest. So the reason, right, so I may have mentioned the D12 earlier. Yeah, cheerio, Devil's Rush. So the reason so I mentioned a D12, and it would have been good to have a D12 for the 12 skills that there are in each section, rather than having to do first D6, second D6, and then to get 12. But whatever, it's fine. I'll let it go. It doesn't matter. Matters a bit. Right, I should probably move this to here because that's the start of the skills. All right, block is the same. Dauntless is the same. Yes. Dirty player. So dirty player counter comes with +1 or +2, and it's only the death roller that has +2. Fend is the interesting. So Juggernaut doesn't exist anymore. Basically, I don't think, does it? So I'm not going to talk about. Oh, no, Juggernaut does exist. Fine. So Juggernaut says you can't use Fend. Fantastic. Fend cannot be used when this player is chain pushed against ball and chain or against Juggernaut. Fine. That perform the block action as part of a blitz. Okay, so this is new wording. So they talk about block action as part of a blitz action. So yeah, so the phrase that comes up quite a lot is block action on its own, or block action as part of a blitz, and it's sort of done quite clearly, I think, because because previously they had to talk about block actions and blitz actions separately. Now all the skills refer to block actions, but they say block action on its own or block action as part of a blitz, which I think is clear in the rulebook, so that's groovy. Frenzy's got a star next to it because it's a compulsory skill. Yep, it's fine. Frenzy can't have grab. So it says earlier, if you roll a skill that you can't take, then you re-roll it. Basically, let's skip back to that one actually. So new skills, select a skill category, random skill, you roll on it. So it's on the previous page here actually. So I know it says it here. Re-rolling if the player already has that skill or if they roll a skill they cannot have. Absolutely. Okay. Yep, cool. Frenzy, no problem. Kick, yeah, they can be on the line of scrimmage now if you only have 3 players. Determine the number of squares the ball deviates, rounding any fractions down as before. Pro is now a 3+, but is only on a single dice roll. As part of a dice pool, for example, cannot be armor, injury, or casualty. Right, okay, so that actually makes these three words here make the brawler interaction really clear. Once this player has attempted to use the skill, they may not use a reroll from any other source to reroll this one dice. So that suggests that pro and brawler can be used sort of one after the other. How does it synergize with team rerolls? Not sure. So I think with the team reroll, you have to reroll the entire dice pool. Let's skip back and see if we can find and clarify these words. Rerolls 24. Actually, I used a thing, didn't I? Well done, me. 24. 24 is turnovers. Skill rerolls, team rerolls. Right, when a team reroll is used, all of the dice in the dice pool must be re-rolled. And then Pro says, once the player has attempted to use the skill, they may not use a reroll from any other source to reroll this one dice. So that suggests that if you use Pro, you then can't use team reroll. And you can't reroll Pro with team reroll anymore. Team rerolls. I think you can. So I think you can reroll Pro. I think you can use a team reroll on the Pro roll as before. So you can roll a 3+. If you fail to roll a 3+, then you can use a team reroll to try and reroll the Pro. I don't think that's been denied. Yeah, I think. I don't think that's changed, but I'm happy to be corrected on that one. Shadowing. Oh, shadowing was always complicated. Right. It used to be 2d6 and an 8 or more. It's definitely not that anymore. You have to roll a d6. So now it's d6 with the move differential. So a traditional shadower would be a Dark Elf assassin against a random player. So say against a random lineman. So there's no modifier at all. So oh, wait a second. Oh, it's gone back. So it used to be that it was the escaping player, but now it's the shadower that rolls the dice, and the shadower has to roll a 6, either modified or unmodified. Right. Okay. So yeah, so you try and roll a 6 to shadow, which is a bit rubbish. I suppose if you had so assassins are the people that come with it generally. So that would be a 6 on most players. So if you had a gutter runner with it, then you'd be doing a 3 or more to shadow. So that's fine. But that's I think it's going to be used. It's certainly not going to be taken very often, I don't think. But then again, it wasn't taken very often before anyway. So marking voluntarily moves. So when you voluntarily moves, it doesn't say actually if it's a voluntary move. It must be a voluntary move. So the shadowing player must be a voluntary move as well, I would guess. You don't have to dodge. Okay, maybe it's not a voluntary move. I'm not sure. There may be some interactions there that are a bit complicated, but maybe they've been thought of. Oh, assassins are move 7 now. Oh, thanks, Dan. All right, thanks, Barney. Yeah. I hadn't got to that bit yet. It's page 120. So we skip ahead to Dark Elves. Dark Elves, assassins are move 7 now. Who'd have thought it? Right, that makes them better at shadowing. So it's a 5+ against a standard lineman. Thanks, guys. Strip ball is the same. The ball will bounce from the square the player is pushed back into as if they had been knocked down. So this was what I was looking at earlier. So I couldn't find where it says about the ball scattering when they get knocked down, and the order of things. So because it used to be really. So I'm gonna have to find that later because it used to be really clear that you were pushed back and you followed up before the ball scattered. But um, yeah, it used to be that the ball scattered after you followed up, but I couldn't find that that was super clear in the rules anymore. But obviously, carry on playing until you will carry on playing the same until someone finds the bit that says that's not quite right. Right. Tackle is the same. Sure hands is the same. Wrestle is the same. Cool. Big hand avoids marked. Appalling is the same. Claws. Um, a roll of 8+ before applying any modifiers. So there is no there's no interaction with Mighty Blow anymore. So slight nerf to claws there. There's no claw Mighty Blow combo. Disturbing presence is the same. Extra arms is the same. Extra arms affects interfering as well, so that's fine. Foul appearance or any special action that targets this player. Okay, cool. So similar but with special actions as well. So hypnotic gaze, basically. Chainsaws and so on. Horns is the same. Iron hard skin. Right, iron hard skin is new, and you can't use claw against it. Fine. Probably won't be taken. It's just something that people will come with. Monstrous mouth can't be taken. Well, people won't take it, basically. Prehensile tail is the same. Only one prehensile tail. Yeah, I think that's the same. Tentacles. Right, tentacles is a D6 and find the strength change. So for a beast of Nurgle against a lineman, then that'll be a 4+ to hold them, basically. Yeah, so one thing they do need to check is whether shadowing is a voluntary. Shadowing's got to be a voluntary move because you're choosing to use it. But it'd be nice to have had that spelt out. It's the same, very long legs. So very long legs is reducing by -1. No, so reducing the negative modifier to a minimum of -1, but they mean maximum because -2 is less than -1. I'll move on about that. This player ignores the Cloudburster skill. Okay, fine. Accurate. Okay, so accurate is definitely not on throw teammate because it says quick pass action or short pass action. So I think that does basically rule out. Although a quick pass action is not a thing, a short pass action is not a thing. Maybe quick is the adjective there and pass action is the noun. Just not tremendously helpful. When this player performs a pass action at quick pass or short pass range would have been better, I think. Fine. So it's only quick or short pass is accurate. Cannoneer. So that's made long bombs less good. Oh, Cannoneer is right. Okay. I am doing it ruling along. Following up says it has to be decided before any full rules are made. Okay, cool. Let's check that out, Sid. Following up. Great stuff. 59. May have missed that. It's entirely possible. Following up. Oh, yeah, cool. Yeah, that's super clear. Thank you. All good. Cloudburster is accurate, but for long. No, sorry, Cannoneer is accurate for long passes and long bombs. Cloudburster is the old safe throw, so you can re-roll unless they've got very long legs. These are basically skills that high elves start with, and not many other people are going to take, as far as I can tell. Dump off. So dump off we think happens as soon as the blitz begins, which makes it a bit better. Although, oh wait a second. So could you declare them as the target of the blitz? Yeah, shadowing is voluntary. Right, okay. So other people have had these thoughts longer and more intricately than me. But basically dump off is the thing in that what needs to be clarified is whether when you target a person, they have to be a valid target. Otherwise, you could just. Wait, no, that works actually. So you could, because they don't have to. So it says may. So you could say, I'm going to target your Dark Elf runner. And they says, okay, that's fine. So actually, what I'm going to do whenever I'm playing Dark Elves is I'm going to say, right, I'm going to blitz. No, I'm not going to do it because that would waste the blitz, wouldn't it? Okay, fine. Ignore that entire section. It's fine. I'll strip it out later. Probably won't because I don't know how to do that. Quick pass, counter turnover. Yeah, so it's so dump off has been improved a little bit, I guess, except you can't wait to see if the person gets to you before deciding to. It's been changed, so I'm not sure if it's better or worse. Other people are better at Blood Bowl than me, so we'll decide whether it's better or worse, but at the moment it's just different. Fumble Rooski I like, so you can place the ball and then get someone else to pick it up. And if you had a load of players with Fumble Rooski, although you can only have, I suppose you've had a load of secondary skills. I think I'm going to be taking Fumble Rooski a lot as a secondary skill. Yeah, so that's cool. Hail Mary is the same, can still be used on bombs, fantastic. Never, oh right, regardless, is wildly inaccurate or is fumbled. Ah, no, wait a second. So now tackle zones affect Hail Mary, he says, wondering whether they did in the old rules. Can't remember, but they definitely do now. So Hail Mary a Hail Mary can be wildly inaccurate or it can be fumbled. So Hail Mary has changed a bit, but I'm not quite sure how. So yeah, we'll figure that out later. That's one for other people to have a ponder about. Yeah, not sure about that one. Sorry about that. I can't immediately think how that's changed. Interesting. I think Joe. I think dump off is going to be Hail Mary has changed. Yeah, thanks, Danton. And I was trying to remember. Yeah, so now Hail Marys are affected by tackle zones. Joe, if you've seen a sort of clarification on dump off, then that would be good because I think that is ambiguous at the moment. Because the block action is you have to nominate the target of the block action at the beginning of the blitz action. That's clear about when nomination happens. Leader is the same. Yeah, fine. There's a steal is the same. On the ball is new, so it's not new. It's kickoff return and also pass block. Yeah, fine. May use it when dumping off, but causes a turnover. Pass when performing a pass action. So for that purposes, we think it doesn't apply to throw teammate because throw teammate is a throw teammate action. Running pass, you can pass the ball during a thing. Safe pass. Should this player fumble a pass, the ball is not dropped. So it's just safe pass just applies to fumble, doesn't apply to wildly inaccurate. It would be good if it had played to wildly inaccurate actually, because that might have made a difference to things. So on the ball is better than pass block used to be because you don't have to go, so you can do anything you like basically. So on the ball, move 3 squares. Oh right, so you don't have to be able to. Right, so you don't. So basically, with the old pass block, you used to have to be able to affect the play, either getting into the to be basically on the path of the pass. Whereas now you can do anything you like. Cool. Armbar is new. Is like mighty blow when you're dodging away. Brawler we've talked about a fair bit. Or maybe we haven't. Reroll one of the block dice comes on the black orcs in the box. Break tackle. All right, break tackle is a big change, so it's just +1. Armbar can be used against jump. Yep, cool. So break tackle has changed, so it's no longer using the strength. It's adding 1 to your agility roll, so it's much less good for some players and much better for other players. So you'll see it on human blitzers, and you won't see it on Saurus, basically. Grab is the same. Guard is the same, except for defensive. Juggernaut is the same. Mighty Blow can now be +1 or +2. I'd have put +X in there, I think, probably from an algebraic point of view. So +2 is on Deeproot and Morg. I don't think anyone else at the moment. Oh yeah, what's his face comes with Dirty Player +2 as well. Nasty Lord Borak. That's it. Stand Firm is the same. Strong Arm is just for throw teammate nowadays. So no longer applies to long passes, which is replaced by cannoneer. Guard can also be used on fouls. I'm missing stuff here. I did not know that. Guard, 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 guard. A player can offer both defensive and defensive assists regardless of how many opposition players are marking them. Ha! Ha 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 ha. So, and when you foul, blitz action is there. Foul action is probably on the next page. Kicking them when they're down. So foul action. For each exactly as when performing a fair. Fantastic, thank you. I did not spot that one at all. So guard cannot be used on fouling as well as so guard can be used on fouling as well as for blocking, unless you have defensive. Much fun. Bron, we covered that earlier about re-rolling one dice. We think we can't use the team reroll because team reroll says you have to roll all the dice and you can't roll a dice. You can't roll a single dice more than once. But thanks, Sid, for picking me up on guard. That's handy. Stand firm. Yeah, it's the same strong arm. Yeah, talked about. Thick skull has been clarified for the stunty table. So KO'd on an 8 and is 7 on a stunned, which is the opposite to what it used to be, I think, because of the weird way those things interactions. I forgive you, Brom, for being late. Multiple block is both POC actions are performed simultaneously, meaning both are resolved in full, even if one or both results in a turnover. Right. The dice rolls for each block action should be kept separate to avoid confusion. Right, I think we avoided confusion by doing one then the other, probably, but there we go. Choosing to use the skill means the player cannot use frenzy. Right, and then pile driver replaces piling on, and it gives you a free foul action against the knocked down player. After using this skill, the player is placed prone. All right, so you're still placed prone, but you also might get sent off, which is groovy. Yeah, absolutely fantastic. Do not share dice. Yeah, sorry, I was just talking about the chat, which I could have had on the side, but I didn't. Right, animal savagery. So wild animals be broken down into animal savagery and crazy cross person. It's not the technical term. What's the other one called? Unchanneled fury. There we go. So the first and the last one was wild animal. Now it's 2. Yeah, complicated stuff, but basically it's the old stuff for and the big thing here is that a Chaos Dwarf Minotaur has one and a Chaos Minotaur has the other, I think, or something like that. So I'm not going to spend huge amounts of time on the traits unless there's big differences, I suppose. So animal savagery is what it is. Animosity is on vampires now, I think, or yeah, which is a bit silly. I'm hoping that's temporary. Animosity. So animosity is really clearly defined now as to who the animosity is against. Yeah, so it is what it is. It's a bit silly that it's on an orc thrower, but especially as that's like a rookie team basically, and so I don't know. Yeah, animosity strain. It's fine to put animosity on things, but I wouldn't have put it on the orc thrower. That was a bit silly. Always hungry is the same. Yeah, it causes an automatic fumble. Ball and chain. So ball and chains had a couple of boosts and clarifications. So basically on ball and chain, you can now. So now if you go for it with a ball and chain, you automatically and you fail, then you just push the person back. So that's a bit of a nerf, but you don't have to take all the you don't have to use all the squares of movement. Basically, for each square the players move. It doesn't say anyone in here that you have to use all the squares of movement. So that's a big boost for fanatics. Ignore foul appearance. Rushing is fine. Yeah, so that's clarified that if a player rushes into a square that is occupied by a standing player, fantastic. So if a player ever falls over or is knocked down, an injury roll is immediately made. So there's no need for an armor roll, and then stun becomes KO. Same. Bombardier, a throw bomb. So here it's really clear that it's a throw bomb special action. It's neither a pass action nor a throw teammate action. So it can be done in addition to other of those things, but you can only throw one bomb per turn. Can't take grab. Sand trombone for the ball and chain. Why not? Yeah, I don't know. Maybe they decided it was too good. Ball and chains were broken. Um, Pass. Don't know. Any skills that can be used when performing a pass action can also be used when throwing a throw bomb special action, with the exception of on the ball. Oh, that's quite cool. So you can. No, wait a second. You can't stand up or move. So a throw bomb action. The player may not stand up or move before performing a throw bomb action. Fine. So you can't move basically. So running past is not a thing, which is a bit sad because a drive-by bomb would have been cool. All right, so it's basically as a part of a throw bomb action, you can't move. Yep, as before. So the big thing here is that you can't always throw the ball again. So if you roll 4+, then the bomb explodes, which is sensible. We'll see fewer of those things, and also if you haven't got a passing characteristic, then it explodes as well. So because you automatically fumble it if you don't have a passing characteristic, so it will come to rest on the ground probably. +1 to either armor or injury, so bomb has got mighty blow still, so that's fine. Yeah, so Sid's asking about pro and brawler. My reading of it is you can re-roll one with pro and the other with brawler, and then you can also re-roll the pro roll. So there's complicated stuff going on there, but it's all quite marginal stuff. It doesn't affect the general trend. Bonehead is the same. So chainsaw is not a turnover, which is a biggie. Yep, +3. Fine, and it doesn't say on a foul action. So it specifically says that you can't move. How did it say that? Yeah, if used as part of a blitz action, this player cannot continue moving after using it. But then later on, it talks about a foul action, and so if you have sneaky git, you can carry on moving. Brawler can only be used 1 dice blocks. No, I don't think so. Brawler can be used. Yeah, no, Brawler. This player may re-roll a single both down result. So if you roll 2 dice and to roll 2 both downs, you can't roll both of them. You can only re-roll one of the both downs that you roll as part of a dice pool. Hypnotic Gaze is the same, I believe. Kick Teammate, I hate. So I don't. To be honest, I don't. It's changed a bit, isn't it? Yeah. So it used to be a doubles thing. Follow the rules. Oh, so kick teammate is like throw teammate. Oh right. Okay. So in addition to another player performing either a pass or a throw teammate, so you could throw a player and then kick the player as well. And so kick teammate has basically completely changed, which I didn't realize. Yeah. I'm just doing the reading. So yeah, absolutely. Doing the reading so you don't have to. You can just listen to me. It's like reading it. It's the audio book version of the book, which is probably I assume this is legal. This must be legal. Yeah. So kick teammate is now basically the same as throw teammate, except that if you fumble, then you injure the player instead of them falling down. Yeah, basically. Cool. Um, that is in adjacent to. So throw teammate you can move and then do it. I think kick teammate. To perform a kick teammate special action, follow the rules for throw teammate. So it's basically exactly the same, except for this paragraph. And if you have mighty blow, which you do if you're a throw teammate, then you can use the skill on the injury roll. Amazing. Right. Okay. So yeah. So kick teammate is. I prefer kick teammate. I like now. They have cleared it out, so you have to be standing to use hypnogaze. Yeah. So there was a very small loophole in the old hypnogaze where you could use it from prone, which is just gone now. So that's good. Um, it's play with, so loner has changed from a 4+ to like a 3+ or a 5+ or a 4+, but otherwise it stays the same. I think no hands is the same. Um, plague ridden. So plague ridden is the Nurgle thing where you can raise rotters, so that's fine. It used to be called Nurgle's Rot, and now it's called Plague Ridden. Not quite sure why, because they still got the Nurgle, like, stuff, haven't they? Pogo Stick. Is there any modifiers? So Pogo Stick, you can leap, same as if you have leap, and you ignore negative modifiers is what Pogo Stick does. That would apply for being marked. Yep, fine. A player with this trait cannot also have the leap skill. Right, okay. Don't know why you'd want that, but yeah, Pogo Stick is like a better leap, basically. Projectile Vomit is new and exciting. So trolls have Projectile Vomit now. I'm not sure if others do as well, but it's basically stab. It's stab with kickback, where if you roll a 1, you vomit down yourself. If you roll a 2+, you vomit on the opponent. It's part of a blitz. So it could be part of a block or a blitz. Armor roll isn't modified, but yeah, so it's basically, so always vomit before scoring if you can, because it can't cause a turnover. Really stupid is the same. Regen is the same. So regen better than apothecary now. So before it used to be um, equivalent. Basically, if you really needed a player back, then you could choose regen or you could choose an apothecary, and the odds were the same. But now they've changed. As Chaos Chosen can now be favoured of Nurgle, flavoured of Nurgle. A Nurgle's Rot star player can now. Oh, right, I see what you mean. Fine, yeah. Okay, I was just reading out some of the chat to do with Nurgle's Rot, but I think that's a marginal thing. So stab is like vomit, but without kickback. So that's fine. Secret weapon is the same. Right stuff is the same. Regen, yeah, talked about regen. I'm going backwards now for some reason. Stunty. So stunty. Oh right, so stunty used to be secret weapon. You couldn't use the ignore tackle zones for dodge, whereas now it's specifically bombardier, chainsaw, and swoop. So bigger brains than mine will say what that applies to instead. The rotter was available in the same match already. Placed immediately. Oh yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, cool. So there is a change to Plague Ridden as against Nurgle's Rot, which is you get the player immediately, like you do for Necro and stuff. You can use the Rotter during the match, and then you can hire him exactly as you would. Yeah, so it's not an either or. So you can So Rotter was post game, and now it's in game. So that's a bit of a boost for Nurgle, which they probably didn't need because they weren't usually short of players, to be honest. Certainly not short of Rotters. Where did we get to? Stunty. Yeah, so Stunty, someone might tell me which things that doesn't affect. Let's have a quick look at the Goblin team to see if there are others. So Chainsaw is affected, Bombardier is affected, and Swoop is affected. So obviously the Doom Diver. So it affects all the secret weapons. Maybe it's a star player thing. Don't know. Swarming is what happened So swarming's been clarified. So swarming says after step 2, but before step 3. So it's clarified to the way that Fumble was using it anyway. So you deviate the ball, and then you put your players on the pitch. So it's like a poor man's, well, rich man's high kick. So you can always have a snotling under the ball. And they may not be placed on the line of scrimmage or in a wide zone. Okay, so if the ball goes into a wide zone, then you can't put a player under the ball. Interesting. Swoop has changed, so now it's D3 squares from the throw-in template in one direction. So it's less good and less easy to just land a player in the end zone. So that's been a bit of a nerf for goblins. Spiky was talking about boosts to goblins earlier. That's a slight nerf to the old Doom Diver. Take root is the same. If you declare that this player would perform any action that includes movement prior to them being rooted, they may complete the action if possible. If they cannot, the action is considered. That's really unhelpful. If you declared that this player would perform any action that includes movement, pass, handoff, blitz, or foul prior to them being rooted, they may complete the action if possible. That's not very helpful, is it? Let's have a look at blitz. If they cannot rush, they cannot perform the block action. If after moving the player does not have sufficient movement allowance remaining to perform the block action, they may rush to gain the square of movement allowance required. If they cannot rush, so take root. Right. Okay, this is mildly irritating now. It's another one that's not super clear to me to start with. Whether you can blitz if you take root. It doesn't say you can't. A rooted player may perform any action available to them provided they can do so without moving. I don't understand that interaction there. I'll write it down. My awesome handwriting. Right. Someone might. Yeah, I still not say scatter template. I think I said throw in template. Yeah. All right. Titchy is the same. Throw teammate. Obviously, we talked about. Timber is the same. And Unchanneled Fury. So Unchanneled Fury is basically says you have to block or blitz to be able to do stuff. Fine, good. And at that point, it seems like lunchtime to me. Tree declares a blitz set is rooted. Probably not allowed to declare a different blitz target. Yeah. And what means you can't block? I don't know. Right. Well, during lunch, if people could figure out whether under the word of the rules that you can blitz or not, and basically where that is in the rules, then that'd be really helpful. So I'm going to go for lunch and be back at 1:45. So hopefully everyone can join me at that stage. Let's turn that one off, and let's turn that one off, and what's happened there? I'm good at this, aren't I? Properties. Yeah, no, block action doesn't require movement. There we go. Cheers, mate.